Hello, Tom Levecchia here with the New Theory podcast. Today we have a special guest, former NFL offensive lineman, respected entrepreneur, businessman, mentor, best-selling author, Marcus Ogden. Welcome to the New Theory podcast. How are you doing today?
How you doing, Tom?
I am well. All right. So we'd like to start off. Tell us about your formative years, where you grew up, and what makes you you.
Well, I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I grew up in a single-parent household raised by a single dad. My brother, Jonathan Ogden, is a 12-year NFL vet. He played for 12 different Ravens. He's in the Hall of Fame. And we were basically raised to basically do three things. One, respect women. Two, be a professional. And three, education above sports.
Wow.
So, big education household. Sports was important, but it was definitely a second tone to hitting those books and making sure we had the right education.
Sweet. And wait, your brother's a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. All right. So all right, because I'm looking at your bio, and you went to Howard, correct?
Correct. Yes. Okay. I went to Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Well, that's no easy feat. Okay. So you were a true student athlete. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was great. Going to Howard was phenomenal. It's a very prestigious school. Again, like you said, education is number one by far at Howard. Like, you have to have almost 3.5 or higher to get in that program. So it was great. I mean, I had a lot of great teachers, great professors. I studied finance. I really enjoyed it. I actually wanted to work on Wall Street when I left Howard, and very fortunately and graciously, the NFL drafted me out of college. But again, Howard by far was a great institution to go to and a higher education learning center for sure.
Sweet. And then what happened? You got recruited out of high school, or what happened there?
Yeah, I was recruited out of high school. I only got one scholarship offer to college.
Oh, wow.
That's it. Out of high school. I went to St. John's College High School, the same high school the owner of Under Armour, Kevin Plank, went to as well.
Oh, wow. All right, so you got so you go to Howard, you got drafted. What round did you get drafted?
Yeah, I was drafted in the 6th round. Today will be the 5th, the way they break it up today. I was Jack Del Rio's first draft class. So Byron Leftwich, Rasheem Mathis, who played for Detroit Jaguars for 14 years, Vince Manawai. We had some great guys on that team. And Del Rio, just like he's doing in Oakland, Tom, he's setting a great culture. Yeah. And they gave Carr a lot of money in Oakland, and I think Del Rio really understands the precedent of being a player's coach.
That's awesome. So okay. And where did you get most PT with of the 3 or 4 teams you played with?
Buffalo. Buffalo by far. Yeah, I played there under Mike Mularkey and Dick Duran.
Wow.
And I got a lot of time there under Hall of Fame offensive line coach Jim McNally.
Wow. What position did you play?
I played guard and tackle. I was a tackle all through college. When I got to the NFL, some people had me at tackle, people had me at guard. It just kind of really depended upon the team's need. Like, were we more downhill running? Were we more pass-oriented? Stuff like that.
Okay, because as I understand, even though tackles and guards are big boys, right?
Yes.
They're two totally different positions and two totally different scopes, right? You got to correct me if I'm right. You got to be much quicker to be a guard, correct?
You have to be quicker to be a guard in a short distance. But as a tackle, you have to have better overall footwork because you're blocking defensive ends who are, anywhere between 240 to 280.
True.
They're lightning fast. Guys like Robert Mathis, guys like Dwight Freeney, stuff like that.
Wow. Who did you post up against? Who'd you post up against? And who was just straight up, massive?
By far, one of the best guys I ever played against was Kevin Williams, first round draft pick out of Oklahoma State to the Vikings, played D tackle. 6'5", 6'6", 320, lightning fast, great agility, a mean guy, great football player. He actually ended up playing, man, for about 12 or 13 years he played in the NFL.
Wow, that's stamina. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. I want to learn more about you specifically. But how was it playing in the show, man? That's got to be sick.
How was it playing where?
How was it playing in the show, in the NFL?
Oh, it's great, man. It's great. I mean, it's a lot of hard work, number one. But number two, I will say this. Getting into the NFL, it's a surreal feeling. You walk into that stadium, and you have all these hundreds, close to 100,000 fans cheering for you, and or even making fun of you if you're in an away field.
Yeah.
And it's just a great perspective of a gladiator from back in the Roman days, and
Yep.
it just makes you feel like you're surreal and you're this hero, and you're basically representing your town against other people and the ability to talk a little trash if you guys win. And if you don't win, you're going to hear about it all week long.
How did you adjust from college to pro? Was it an easier adjustment than you thought, or you went there, got your clock cleaned?
Oh, I got my clock cleaned in my rookie year. Absolutely. It's very difficult. The speed of the game is absolutely, it's mind-boggling. Everybody in the NFL is fast. I don't care if you're a 350-pound tackle or if you're a 210-pound receiver. For your position, you are blazing fast. So most college players that have problems adjusting, Tom, are the ones that have problems adjusting to the speed of the game.
Got it. Because even D1, I mean, you're going to have some fast folks, but not maybe not all 11 guys. All right, so I like you already, right? So and hopefully you like me, right? So you seem like very well adjusted. I hate to say it, a lot of guys that go into the show, either they were good guys, they went to the show and came out shitty, or they had a rough life, so that was like they like overcome a lot of odds, and then but you seem like a square guy. How were you with your money? Were you were you stacking chips and then rolled it into entrepreneurship venture, or were you maybe not as smart and you had to rebuild after you left? Walk us through that journey.
No, I stacked my chips from day one. My father had a degree in economics. Nice. So when I got in the NFL, I had my money put to the side. I had stacked chips. I had the 401k. Nice. I had investments. So I was ready. I wasn't ready to leave the game because no one ever truly is, except for a few great people. My brother walked away, Barry Sanders, Jim Brown, but that's very few far between.
Correct.
But as far as financially set, I was set. I mean, I had no problems with money issues. I was able to start my venture. It took me about 6 months to find it, but I started a very successful construction company, and I was able to utilize the funds from the NFL to get that going.
You know what? I interview a lot of entrepreneurs, and I'm not knocking anybody. And sometimes you have to face adversity to really kind of get somewhere. But I kind of respect you that shot straight from the beginning, did the right thing, had good parenting, saved money. And in a traditional sense, this is boring. It's almost like, oh wow, no, but this is not boring. This is how it should be done. You should start, raise your kids right, start off strong, stack those chips, and then roll into another venture. Now, going into construction though, that seems a little risky. Do you have a background? Do you have a partner? Walk us through that.
I had a business partner, Tom, who was about 41 years my elder.
Wow.
So my biggest problem was I trusted my partner, and I ended up going bankrupt in 2013.
Ouch!
Because I ended up having to spend $2 million of my money on a project in downtown Baltimore, and I didn't get paid back by the general contractor. So those are the type of things I've been through financially.
Wow!
But again, I did not have. My partner was not as savvy as I thought he would be.
Wow.
And that's my fault for not vetting him better. But that was my one big mistake. I trusted a partner without vetting him properly.
Okay, so I want to make sure I'm filtering this correctly. So, you get out of the show, you have a few bucks, more than a few bucks. You deal with the guys a little bit, older. You hook up with a deal. So you're working as a subcontractor. Would that be fair to say?
Correct. I was an earthwork subcontractor. That's correct.
Oh, okay. So you were capital. So you had to put out big money to move the earth. Now, did you, hey, contractor, here's a milestone. They didn't pay you, or maybe you were kind of a rookie in a sense, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it for $2 million. You're gonna pay me $3 million, but you can pay me when it's done. Like, were the milestones correct, and the guy kind of tried to fuck you, or were the milestones maybe not favorable towards you and they took advantage of it?
No, basically the milestones were in my favor. I was in business for 5 years over that threshold. I just broke 8 figures in revenue.
Yeah.
I just trusted a client that took care of me 6 months earlier on a job site around the corner. And then 6 months later, when the stuff hit the fan, they ended up bailing on me. And instead of giving me money to kind of absorb my costs, they were a multi-billion-dollar company, they decided they were going to not do that. And I ended up basically at that time going out of business.
Ow. Now, did you have a legal recourse, or you did, and it just was good, too much to go after? What happened legally?
No, I didn't have. I had a handshake deal, no signed contract, because we were under immense pressure to get the job done and get under and be on schedule. That I ended up shaking hands with the contractor and developer and moving forward. I did not get a signed contract or change order, and I had no leg to stand on when everything hit the fan.
All right, I'm not gonna beat you up on this. I'll tell you why. Not that I have a right to, but like in some cases, people might raise a brow because they say, "Hey, you went to the NFL. You're Howard educated." But so here's the thing: two parts. Number one is we just did a podcast with somebody. The top 3 mistakes entrepreneurs make when raising money, and number one is not vetting their partnership. So that's a mistake you make that you live and learn, right? But number two is I last year almost crashed my business off of a handshake deal. And and people like look at me like I have 10 heads. I don't know what your reasoning was. I think it's going to resonate, but that's how I did business. That's how I succeeded. That's what brought me to that table. So I had no reason to believe I was going to get fucked, right? Is that the similar situation with you, or was it slightly different?
No, of course. It's basically, I thought that the client, because I was a minority state certified contractor, that they would take care of me.
Yeah.
And because we were so far behind schedule, it was going to take weeks to get a change order written up, approved, drawn by the lawyers. And I didn't want to take that time. And I was just really scared that if I didn't do the work, they were going to put pressure on me and they were going to call in my bond.
Got it. Now, when you're halfway through the project, did you kind of have that twinge in your gut? Milestone check didn't come up, and then you said, no. Then you have a psychological contract. You're like, well, I'm already in for $1 million. I might as well finish and break even. Or did you legitimately think you were okay until the end?
No, just like you thought. I was like, you know what? I've already invested. I have $1 million of my money.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been in business now for over 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm at that point of success. Let's go for it and let's do it. And I really, really just trusted the partnership of the client that I worked for, which again turned out to be a grave mistake.
Got it. Now, this is important for entrepreneurs that are listening. When you bankrupted, I'm assuming you had a business, an LLC, an S Corp, C Corp. I'm assuming that particular entity is what went bankrupt, correct?
Correct. And I had to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy as well.
Personally?
Yes, sir.
Ah, shit, my man. All right, so this is real. Okay, so it's not like
I was personally the guarantor with my bank line for $1.5 million. My bank for $1 million.
Okay.
That's where I was at.
Okay.
So I was the guarantor on the contract, behind the company. So I literally had to wipe out 177 creditors, which totaled close to $5.2 million. Otherwise, I could have been on the hook personally for all that.
Okay, so folks that are listening, what happens in that type of business, for whatever reason, it could be maybe a project bigger than what he normally does. Maybe it's stipulation of the contract, whatever it is, right? He did what is called a PG, or a personal guarantee. Personal guarantees are common. Obviously at that level, you get a calculated risk. Probably, and Marcus, I'm assuming without the PG, you probably wouldn't have gotten the job to begin with, correct?
Correct. And without a personal guarantor, I can't get a bond. If I can't get a bond,
you can't do the project. Got it. Okay. All right. I know how you feel, man, and that sucks. So how did you rebound? What was the first step? So you got kicked in the nuts.
So what happened in my case was I literally picked up in the middle of the night, within 2 weeks, and I moved from Baltimore to Carolina because my house was being repossessed and foreclosed on. And what happened was the NFL stepped in to help me with what's called the Gene Upshaw Trust Assistance Fund. And when they did that, I was able to get myself back on track, and I was able to, save myself and get myself in a positive light. So the NFL stepped in to help me out financially, and then I signed a book contract and became a best-selling author, and then I started my public speaking tour. But again, without the NFL's help, I don't get to that point.
Got it. Now, I'm with you on that. Okay, so no, I get it because candidly, a lot of guys that come out of the show, they are not financially literate, and they wind up actually going broke. So I know there's different programs, and you deserve that. It's actually the intent of it was for guys like you that actually know what they're doing, and God forbid something happens and they get taken advantage of. So that makes sense because you got back on track. But you know what? Like speaking engagements and books are great. But that's, 2,000 talk, 5,000 talk, whatever you get, right? How did you get back? Yeah, how did you get back? That was a great start, right? So they stabilized you, but how did you, get back psychologically? How did you get back physically? Because that's crazy.
So, it took me about six months of feeling sorry for myself, the whole process like that. And then pretty much what I've done is I've developed a brand around speaking. Yes, speaking here or there, that's great and all that, but that's not going to sustain, consistent revenue. Yeah. So once I was able to put the bottle down after beating myself half to death for what I did wrong, I then decided to find a brand, and I turned my vices into virtues, and I started talking to people about my story. Once I started to do that, I started getting people saying, hey, Marcus, tell me how you're getting all these speaking jobs. Tell me how you're utilizing your vices to become virtues. And then I started a speaking academy. So I'm kind of trying to build a model like a Tony Robbins, a Les Brown. Guys where they're putting together programs, putting together high-end coaching, and basically teaching people how to utilize and how to, become great at sales or how to push forward, when things go bad, personal development. But we're really focusing our program on high-end coaching and also at the same time teaching people how to public speak. So that is my full passion. And again, looking at guys like Robbins, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell, if you become a top person in this industry, which is going to take work like anything else, like being an NFL football player, you can make a very, very successful life without all that risk. It's being a construction owner or a restaurant owner or a nightclub owner. The risk in this business is a lot less if you have the ability and you have the fortitude to push forward in bad times.
Okay, now did you get back into construction or you dropped that vertical completely?
I'm sorry?
Did you get back into construction as well or you dropped that?
No, absolutely not. No. I've learned that trying to be a jack of all trades, master of none is not the way I want to go.
Okay, so you started a brand new entity, speaking, consulting. I'm a big Les Brown fan, so I'm definitely on the right track there. Got a best-selling book, and you seem to be doing well. Now, did you get your head right and felt good, and then money started pouring in, and you started feeling good because you started becoming whole, or did it really take you to get the money in to feel better? Because I'm kind of going through something similar where I had to vacate about $150,000, and I'm in the process of working my ass off to get it back. So although I feel a lot better, I do still feel a little hollow because I'm not kept whole. Is it psychological first and then the money, or psychological then the money?
No, for me it was psychologically getting healthy, getting okay with the fact that I made mistakes, and owning my faults and owning my being accountable. Once I started to do that, and once I started to actually go ahead and start telling my story in a way of not blaming anybody but myself, then the money started coming in after that. But if you try to go for the money first, they're always going to end up in a short sell, I feel personally.
Okay, so now let's get to the good stuff. Your model, you come speak for a keynote, and then you sell materials. Is it a one-off? Is it a program? Or do you have underlings? Give us your specific revenue model.
My specific revenue model, is getting people to sponsor my academy. People register for my academy, to be able to get the access to meeting the right people, things like that. And then I get people to start, telling other people about my program and buying books and materials and then doing speaking engagements. traveling around the world, doing consulting for companies, doing programs, introductions, things like that. So my model is off of speaking, and then going underneath of that, you have things like that. So I'm very much again, Les Brown, kind of model where I'm going to basically have my brand, have underlings and people underneath me that are going to model off and start doing other things like I'm doing.
And how's it going?
Going great. I mean, I have a phone call here in a few minutes with my partners on the high-end coaching program. One of my partners is he's a former UFC fighter. His name is Alan Belcher. He fought in the UFC for 11 years.
Nice.
He's good with Dana White. And my other partner, Luke, is out of Ontario. And we're rolling. We're putting together this great program. And what we're trying to teach people, Tom, is the ability to sell.
Yes.
People don't understand that selling is three keys. Number one, deliver a great elevator pitch.
Okay.
Number two, deliver the how I can help you pitch. Number three, a great 30-minute conversation or PowerPoint presentation, depending upon if you're hired to do a job or you're over the phone trying to interview somebody. If you can master those three pitches in your life, you will succeed at sales. And I have done that within the last 15 months, and I have spoken for 7 Fortune 500 companies in the last 15 months.
That's a lot. That's almost one every other month. Well, listen, I love your story. It's one of a good guy who started out, educated himself, got to the NFL, did everything right, got screwed in a way, if not big time, but then turned it around for something positive. And to really persevere. So Marcus, listen, you have New Theory as a friend. If you ever want us, to put up some content for you, YouTube's, your free speaking engagements, whatever, consider that. What parting words you have for the audience today?
I'm going to say this. Remember this as an entrepreneur, no matter how old or young you are. The key to successful business owners is market, market, market. If people don't know you exist, they can never buy your product.
That is true. It's about creating awareness, and you're doing so. And these are the type of things that will get you there. So, how can we find you?
You can go to my Speaking Academy website, which is www.marcus, MARQUES, Ogden, OGDEN, speakingacademy.com. Or you can go to my other website, which is my public speaker website, which is www.marcusogdenpublicspeaker.com. And then you can follow me on Instagram, which I saw you follow me on Instagram. It's at Marcus Ogden. Facebook is Marcus Ogden. LinkedIn is Marcus Ogden. Twitter is Marcus_Ogden. And my Snapchat is MOgden71.
It is all about Marcus Ogden. Marcus, thank you for being on the New Theory podcast, and enjoy your weekend, my friend.
Have a great one, Tom. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Good job, buddy. That was fantastic.